Tuesday. Honestly, I don't know why I'm so gassed, why I'm so excited. I think it's the sun, it's the energy of summer. Sun shining through. I'm just like, whew, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for today's episode. It's going to be beautiful. We have an artist coming from Calgary, Alberta on today's episode, y'all. Yeah. I'm so excited because it's giving alternative R&B. Her artistry is everything alternative R&B, and then there's like sparkles of just different genres that you wouldn't expect. She definitely embodies the genre blending type, but honestly, her artistry, as you can hear in the background, is soulful. It's interesting, and it will keep you on your toes. It will definitely keep you on your toes. Right now in the background, we are listening to Pretty Pretty. This is actually one of, if not my favorite song off of her latest EP, which is CodeSwitch. That's such a fun name for an EP or any type of project, like CodeSwitch. Okay, sis. We actually should get the meaning behind that, because there's a lot of genre switching that's happening, and I wonder what she's implying by code switch and if it actually relates to the sonic changes within the album as well. So I'm so excited to get into this. I need y'all to drop down in the comment section. How's your Tuesday going? Are you enjoying the sun as much as I am? Because it has lifted my spirit, as you can tell. I'm like on a freaking high. I love it. Okay, before we invite today's artist in, let me give her a nice little intro. Okay, so Chinelo is a multi-talented recording artist known for her soulful voice, genre blending sound, and intentional storytelling. Drawn to music from a young age, she began releasing covers, remixes, and gaining momentum and growing her audience with every release. After dropping a series of releases, she released her debut EP, CodeSwitch, in November of 2024. Yes, girl! A project that highlights her versatility across R&B, pop, and Afrobeats. And I want to add there, rock.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, well, welcome to Behind the Music.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be such a great conversation, and I feel like, too, your audience wants to get to know you a little better, girl, me included. So, like, we got to dive into this.
Yep.
I was listening to your song Pretty Pretty, and like that's the one that struck me. I was like, yo, this is amazing. I pulled out this line from the song, but you gotta correct me if I misheard. You have a quote that says, "Take off the colors of shame." Is that right? Is that the line?
That is not the line, no.
Oh no! Okay, what is the line?
No, it's take off the covers and shine.
The covers of shame.
And shine.
Oh, take off the covers and shine. See, now that might be better than what the fuck I heard. So that's awesome. Okay, so I love that. I love that line. Take off the covers and shine. Why was it important for you to start your EP with such an ethereal but also impactful and meaningful song like that?
I think when I wanted to start the EP, I wanted it to be like, I was thinking more transitions. I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to be like the first song that would like slap people out of the way because it's
Yeah.
so shocking. But then I wanted something that was like a deep contrast. So I wanted to start kind of slow and cute, almost like a lullaby. And then for Pretty Pretty, I thought like, okay, I want it to be personal. I wanted the EP to start with me and end with me. And so the first song is like just an ode to myself and like who I like. It's like a little uplifting moment for myself because like I used to sing the song, had it for a long time, and I was saying to myself whenever I'm feeling like insecure or like not good enough, and I thought well, I was never meant to put it out. It was supposed to be my song, but now everyone loves it, so I'm just like, might as well. Like if it makes anyone else feel like empowered, then it's enough. That's all that we do it for. So.
For sure. And did the whole project kind of feel like that? You were taking off the cover and just letting yourself shine vocally and creatively?
Yeah, I never thought of it like that, but yes, because I think like I was trying to not stay in a box. That's the one thing I try my best not to do. I like to push
Mhm.
boundaries. I like to do new things, and
Mhm.
so opportunity for me to, you know, take off the covers and shine. You put it
Yeah.
very well. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good on you for doing that because I know sometimes that's really hard. It's hard to like get out of the shadows and then become the spotlight, you know? It's hard sometimes. But you did a really great job. I love the album. I was telling people, I was like, you're really embodying this genre blending ting ting because I was listening to the album for the first time, the EP, sorry. I was listening to it for the first time. I heard Pretty Pretty and I was like, oh wow, this is setting the tone. And then you hit me with like a guitar and I'm like, wait, this is a rock anthem. What is going on here? There's so much diversity within the album.
I think that was the plan. I think I really wanted to do. I wanted to give people whiplash with the EP. Like I didn't want there to be any two songs that sounded similar. I wanted it to be just very
Mhm.
diverse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was all intentional.
Hmm.
Oh, that's amazing. So, when you're embodying like the rock side of you, do you ever feel like you're undermined or you feel like you might be pushed a little bit or be faced with a little bit of resistance because of the genre or no?
You know, I never thought that far.
Okay.
Perhaps, sure. Like I think with the way the music industry is and like the social climate,
Yeah.
probably. But I think for me, it was just like I'm doing something I like. I love rock music on my own, anyways, and I
Yeah.
wanted of the songs that I would listen to. So I
Yeah.
was just different sounds, and I really didn't think that far. But if I do get pushed back, I'm not one to lay down.
She said, I don't care.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. I'm an artiste. I love it. I love it. Okay, so within the album, you have this really cool, sultry, like R&B vibe. You have rock, and then you have like alternative pop rock vibes going on, and then you have the Afrobeat track as well.
Mhm.
When it comes to all of the genres that influence your artistry, what would you say actually sparked your sound and what makes you you?
Um, hmm. That's very interesting. I think honestly, every single genre that I put on the project is what shapes like who Chinelo is as an artist.
Hmm.
I grew up listening to rock music, country from my dad. He has a very diverse music taste, and then found R&B by myself. I think growing up, and I thought it was just the best thing. I think you called me an alternative R&B artist, and I'm like, you know
I
what, I
did.
like because
You
I
like it?
think I like that. But my base is definitely R&B, but I'm an R&B person that tries to do other things. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. What kind of songs or what artists were you and your dad listening to when you were younger?
Oh, he loves everyone from like ABBA to Smokey to Michael Jackson, Celine
Mm.
Dion. I think those are some like Nigerian household staples. So all of them and some other people like Billy Idol and just different artists. No, like nothing was ever similar. Funny enough, we didn't really listen to many Nigerian artists growing up. I had to like find that by myself. He listened to a lot of Western music, so.
Okay, and so when you started to dabble into that, what were some of the artists that stood out to you?
I think off the bat, like P Square was the first person I remember listening to when I was in Nigeria. And there was Style Plus, that was before I ever left Nigeria. And then when I came here, Wizkid and them were popping, and Davido, and the Mavens, and then like obviously all the new girls now, like Tams and Ira, everyone is like, I like everything really. If it sounds good, I'm with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. That's so great. Okay, so you created this album. Well, obviously, you got influenced by your father, and then eventually down the line, you started your music career, put out this project last year, and you also got to perform it. Can you take us back to that moment where you're like, you got the word from Up and Coming, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna perform putting together your set. Like, take us back to that moment. What was it like for you?
Yeah. I think Up and Coming was started like my friend owns it, one of my best friends in the whole wide world. He owns it. Shout out to Toby. And he was like, yeah, why not come down? And I love Calgary. I'm from there. So I was like, an excuse to go home. Why not? So I went, and it was the best time. I've never performed in Calgary before as an artist. So that was really fun. And I got to, it's also kind of nerve wracking because I think people that know me in Toronto know me as an artist, but people from Calgary just know me as Chinelo, like just the girl. So it's interesting like having to come back home and like reinvented and show people this new person. So that was a little bit scary, but also it was fun. Everyone's kind, everyone's cool. It's always good times whenever I'm there. So that was the best time, honestly. I had the most fun.
And you killed it. I wasn't there in person, but I saw a lot of the footage and stuff, and I was like, this girl is confident. She is slaying the stage. Like, let's go. So yeah,
Yeah.
all of everything that I landed online made you look real, real good, girl. Did you feel good after performing, or like, was it a breath of, was it like a release for you?
You know what? It was, but also I'm very, very hard on myself. I'm a super perfectionist.
Mm.
And after I was oh, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. But I think I was trying to get into a mindset of like, you know what? I just had a cool opportunity. Be grateful, be happy. So like obviously my first thought was like I was nitpicky, but then eventually I was like, no, I'm just really happy. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, shout out to everybody at Up and Coming for even
Mhm.
putting on that event. The location was sick. That location needs to be activated more often, actually. Sick.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you shared that you also performed as an artist in Toronto. What are some major differences that you see between the two cities?
I think Toronto is a music city. I think
Mm.
there's always like happening. There's always something new going on, and there's different types of music. But I think in Calgary, they've definitely come a long way, but it's definitely still growing. So I think there's a lot of room for more people to come up and do a brand new thing and make it a big music scene if people were really up for it.
Yeah, yeah. But you see, do you find that there's a lot of like opportunity and prosperity within the Calgary music scene?
Yeah, for sure. There's so much space for growth. There's so much, especially like because Calgary is a very country, type of vibe.
Yeah.
But if you can do something new, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of room to be a trendsetter for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. I feel like right now there's a lot of people doing some really cool things, and I feel like the peak of it is just starting, if that makes sense. Like there's
Yeah,
a movement of a bunch of people doing dope shit, and it's just gonna get better and better and better.
yeah. That's the goal, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so 2024 wasn't the best year. It wasn't the best year, but there is power in being able to just sit back and take a pause.
Hmm.
And did you find that you were able to find a peace amongst all of the craziness?
Definitely, yes. I think a lot of things were happening at the same time, and they weren't good things. But I was able to just like sit and just be still, and I really leaned into my relationship with God, and it really helped me to just like come back to center, realize my why, like why am I doing this? And I think once I was able to come back to center, then I could now look at the world again and just figure out where to go. So definitely. It was grounding, but it was purposeful.
Absolutely. And for context for the audience, could you just share, it doesn't have to be like too deep, but just give us a general summary of like some of the things that you experienced in 2024, just
Yeah.
so they can understand. Mhm.
Everything, honestly, everything from like health challenges to relationship challenges. People was stomping on my heart. It was so sad. And like friendship challenges and work challenges, financial, family, everything was like, I think everything that could have gone wrong went
Yeah.
wrong. That's
Oh my
maybe not
gosh.
like the grace of God, no one died, thank God. But like everything else was like up in the air, and it was very like hard to. Um, I think I don't really like too many changes. I like things to be still. So it was like when everything is like moving around you, it's a little bit destabilizing.
Hmm.
I music. I think it was really hard to just like get into my creativity. It was really hard to just like, find something to be excited about. So I think in moments, it's funny though, because I say like the best things happened last year for me musically. I got to perform Up and Coming, I got to release my EP, but those were like pockets of like great, those are moments that made it all worth it, I would say. Like moments that made the year worthwhile. So yeah, I think out of that sadness and out of the pain came great things. Because I think in like the scary situations that I was going on, I had a lot of downtime, so I could just like start writing again. And that's when the EP was finished, and yeah.
And but there's also opportunity for growth during those low moments. They're like
Mm,
character development moments. Like, of course, in the moment it sucks and it's super challenging, but once you're at the end of it, it's so beautiful because you've like now entered another chapter where you can just walk feeling a little bit more confident.
like, yeah, like I'm not was at the beginning of last year is like a whole 180 from who I am today. And there's so much growth that happened spiritually, emotionally,
Mhm.
physically. There's a lot of things I think that last year taught me, and it was one of those ones that had to happen. So I'm grateful for it. Even though it wasn't good in the moment, I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always like to talk about these things just because, like, for me, when I was younger, I was always afraid of a low, and I was always afraid of like a bad time or a bad situation, and would just like dodge bullets left, right, and center. But there is so much opportunity for growth in those moments where it's like if you continue to dodge those bullets, you won't be able to enter your next level, you know? It's we don't go through these hardships for no reason. Like God always has something greater for us. So it is so nice to see that you have this positive perspective on all of the BS that you had to experience in 2024.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, on that note, what was the greatest insight you gained during that period of your life?
Um, the greatest insight. I think one thing that I was working on that I think I continue to work on throughout the year was just being still. I think things would happen and I would want to be like reactive and I'd want to respond, but like I had to just be still and then dwell in today. That's one thing that I picked out of like my Bible. I like to paraphrase the Bible as like I said, God is talking to me, and He would tell me to just be still, to dwell in today. Don't think too far because I'm an overthinker. I like to think too far in the future. I like to think of the worst case scenario, the best case scenario, and it's hard to just stay in today. And it's crazy because like some days you think, oh, it's over, and then the next day something new has happened that changes the script completely. So it's like you just overthought for no reason. Like you just wasted all your mental energy. So like just staying in the moment, staying in the day, trusting God. I think that's been a hard one for me because I like to be in control of things. I like to always know what's going on. I like to be in the driver's seat, and I think this period is that period, and still consistently has been always a struggle because God is always teaching me like you're not in the driver's seat, just so you know. Like you need to just let go and let God, and I'm working on it. So it's not perfect, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, what a humbling place to be in, right?
Mm, yeah.
I feel that. You're literally speaking my language. I'm someone who's always on. So being comfortable with like being off is weird. And even when it comes to what you were saying about letting God lead, I think in theory, it's like, oh yeah, just go with the flow type of vibes. But like when you're actually in the moment where you're like, okay, God, like whatever you want, I submit, that's that's challenging. That takes practice. That's a muscle. It's a
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah. The worst night of my life was the night that I finally like surrendered and
Hmm.
let go. And it's funny because it sounds so simple, but that night, the most horrible night of my life. Like it was so like destabilizing because I'm like, what is he gonna ask me to do? What about my plans? What about my goals? And it's crazy because I think this whole period of like learning to trust God has taught me a lot about His nature because I think I always assumed the worst scenario, But then you have to realize he's not a bad person. He actually wants the best for you. He wants better for you than you want for yourself. So I think
Yeah.
once you come to that realization, it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But
Yeah.
so I'm like more used to just like moving, because I know one thing I still struggle with is like I can't see the road. I don't know where I'm going, so I just don't go. Like you can't make me go.
Yeah.
You can't make me go. And I just like stay still. But like you can't do great things if you're like not moving forward, you know? So I'm working on staying, not needing to know where I'm going, just moving. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Someone commented he's a better driver anyways. So just let him
That's
leave.
shade. That is shade because everyone I drive it. That's rude. That is so rude.
Um, for me though, like I'm reading John right now, and I'm like, man, these people had it so easy. Like they had Jesus in the flesh. Like he was there in front of you performing miracles. Like
Facts. Facts.
for us, it's it's he's around. It's a spiritual form, right? So it's just like, damn. So when it comes to your spiritual journey, how has that impacted your artistry?
Um, I think honestly, it helps me just the relationship. I think once you have that relationship with God, um, it makes everything else make sense. You know, it changes your perspective on life. It changes your perspective on people. It changes your perspective on like your journey. And I think my artistry is based mostly on my experience, my relationships with people, God, experiences. And so like I think once he's shaping that, you get to look at life a different way and your music kind of takes that shape as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so what's next for you then? With all that being said, what can we expect from you next?
What's next? I gotta figure out how to promote my music. That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. Because I love creating. I love making things. Um, I just love sitting. I'm literally up to like 5 a.m. most days. If you call me in the middle of the night, I'll probably be awake because I'm just creating something. But then it's like, okay, now let's put it out. Let's promote it. I suck at promoting. I'm not very good at marketing. I'm not the best at TikToking. I'm not the best at all these things that you need to do these days to get your music out there. But I think that's the thing because my EP came out like 5 months ago. There's like minimal buzz on it because I'm like, okay, here you go, and I just didn't bother to like promote it. So I'm gonna um, work on promoting my music and then just building a steady, strong fan base and then creating more things. Um, I have a lot of other fun songs that I wanted to release and put out, so I'm going to be fine tuning hopefully more music soon.
Amazing. I love that. I love that. And it's like a whole game plan right there. I love that. Okay. And you know what? Sometimes, like, I understand the need to create more music, but sometimes you could literally just promote what's already there too, right? So never
If not,
forget that because what's out is really nice. I love it. I don't see that much about pretty pretty on your page. Just saying.
I'll work on
Okay. I read this quote on your page and I just wanted to tie it in too. So, today, for you, what does this quote mean? Done is better than perfect, and obedience is better than delay.
it. Did I say that on my page?
You did.
Oh, wow. Sometimes I just be saying things. No, no, done is better than perfect. Obedience is better than. I think it's pretty much what I've been saying this whole time. Where like I'm a perfect. I want everything to be perfect, and I think I've kind of switched. Before I thought trusting God was about like trusting His leading, but also it's about just allowing yourself to be used regardless of whatever stage you're at. I always wanted to be perfect. I look at people I look up to, and I'm like, if I'm not like them, I'm not good enough to put myself out there. And I look back at old covers I used to put out when I didn't know a thing about mixing. I didn't know a thing about mastering. I didn't know a thing about levels. And it sounded horrible mush up. And I'm like, why did I put that out there? Ew. And I'm like, no, I'm deleting all my old content. But in the comments, I'm seeing everyone's gassing me like, girl, this is so good. And I'm like, you guys are liars. You guys are liars because it really wasn't. But the thing is, like, I'm like, the perfectionist is only in my head. Everyone else probably thinks it's pretty good. And even if it's not that good, they respect the hustle. And most people are not haters. Most people actually want you to succeed. And so I think just getting out of my head, because like there's so many things like I have to consistently be trying to find space in my laptop because there's so many things that I've been working on, and I'll work on it and I'll basically finish it and I'll be like, it's not perfect, and I'll just toss it out. And like if I would just put it out there, God knows where I would be right now. And I think just coming to this place of like, I don't need to be perfect to put things out. Like I'd rather just do it. Like God is gonna do the other parts. Like the parts that I cannot do, God's gonna do that part. I need to do what I can do. And I need to obey because he be telling me to move. And I'm just like, no, no, no. And I need to just stop like delaying because someone told me one time, it was like, why do you keep delaying your destiny? And I was like, damn, it slapped me across the face. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. But I was like, that's real because who knows where I would have been if I put all my content. Who knows? But now I think like
But
going forward, I think that's her.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad that's where you're at now.
Yeah.
Those coulda, woulda, shouldas are like they're so trippy when it comes to your mind, but also the way that I like to frame it is that if I didn't or because I allowed myself to say no that time, I know better today. So I
Mhm.
know what I should do and I know how to like navigate my brain when there's a bunch of self-doubt and all of that shit.
Yeah.
I know how to handle myself.
Mhm.
And I know what's better for myself now. Because before I was trying to be in the shadows. Because before I was, you know, trying to suppress my creativity, trying to dim my own light, you know? But today I understand that you can't dim your light. And today I understand that my light is my gift. Today I understand that it's God. It's shining through me, you know?
Exactly.
And so when you're doing the opposite, you're limiting what God's trying to do in your life. So that's how I like to frame it. So then it's not like necessarily like I'm shaming myself for like what
Yeah.
I did or didn't do in the past. It's more like I learned from that.
Exactly.
I know better today.
Exactly. And that's a word.
Yeah, but I love that. I love what you had to say as well. That concludes this interview. I really appreciate you hopping on Behind the Music. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
For having me. This has been the most fun time. I didn't know what to expect, but this has been a lot of fun. I was really nervous in the beginning. I wasn't quiet and I was shy, but now I'm like I'm out of my shell. So this has been good. Good energy. You're a great host. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, everyone. Have a great Tuesday. I'll see you next
Have a great
episode.
evening, everyone. Bye.
That's today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more conversations with artists in Canada.